Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Supergirl and the DCU because we've got a couple of different topics I want to discuss in today's video. But first things first, we're going to have a look at what Millie Alcott could look like as Supergirl. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. So obviously Supergirl is filming right now. We've literally seen just that one photo that I'll have up on the screen so far from Supergirl Winter Tomorrow, and that's because they're shooting on set in London, but they're not shooting outside. So once they start shooting on location, which hopefully happens sometime soon, we'll probably get our first look at Supergirl. They might even do a similar thing as to what they did when Superman was filming outside. They posted a first look at David Corenswet's Superman because they knew that photographers would get photos of him out in the streets. So let's go ahead and get into today's main topics. The first article we're breaking down is from Cinema Blend, and the article goes like this: there are a lot of reasons to be excited about the upcoming Supergirl movie. It's the first film starring the character in decades, which will set it apart from the previous DC universe in a big way right out of the gate. Obviously recently we had Supergirl on TV, and that's probably why Supergirl is so popular right now, because of what Melissa Benoist did to the character. But the article continues by saying also the Supergirl cast includes an inspired choice with Jason Momoa taking on the role of Lobo finally. So that's obviously been a long time coming. There's been so much speculation about him playing Lobo. I even met Jason Momoa when they released the final Aquaman film, and I believe at that event he was like getting asked about that and people were speculating about it, and he was kind of giving a few hints and things like that. But now it's actually coming to fruition. He is going to be playing Lobo in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. So there is a new fan created movie poster on Instagram, which we'll put in the link in the description below so you can go ahead and look at it for yourself. But I'll also have it on the screen right here. And this gives us a look at what Supergirl could look like with the kind of David Corenswet type Superman suit, because it's got the same emblem. Obviously we've seen the Supergirl emblem, we know it's the same as David Corenswet's because there was that photo you'll see on the screen right here from behind Millie Alcott showing her sitting on one of the Supergirl set chairs. So the suit, it looks great. It looks proper Supergirl. It looks kind of like Melissa's suit in terms of, you know, the skirt, the boots and everything, especially the early Supergirl suit, because in the Supergirl TV show they did actually change it at one point. I believe it was in season 4 when they gave her pants instead of skirt. I have to say I'm definitely more of a fan of the classic Supergirl look with the skirt. It's just really iconic and it makes her a bit different from Superman because he normally has the trunks as well, although sometimes he does have that little bit of red around like the pants area, I guess you could say. So yeah, behind Supergirl you've got this House of L emblem or the House of L crest, and you got this really cool fan art of Jason Momoa as Lobo in the background. Now obviously we don't know exactly what he's going to look like, but we can presume he will look something like this, something similar to the comics. And I have to say this is probably one of the best pieces of fan art that I've seen so far for Supergirl Winter Tomorrow, and it's like a proper fan art poster and it just looks great. So I would be happy if the characters looked anything like this, especially Millie Alcott's Supergirl, because that suit looks amazing. It's got the perfect amount of blue, perfect amount of red and yellow as well, and also she's got the hair to match. Now the hair is pretty similar because we know she's got, you know, blonde hair like Melissa, like a traditional Supergirl look. Obviously we didn't have that with Sasha Calle, which I don't feel like is a big problem, but it's nice to get something quite traditional, I guess you could say. So yeah, love this poster. Let me know, what do you guys think about this? Do you think the Supergirl suit is going to be something like this when we get our first look, hopefully in the next month or so? So let's move on to the second main topic. This is still Supergirl related, and this is to do with the Supergirl TV show. So we've heard a lot recently that some of the Arrowverse shows and some of the DC TV shows are going to be leaving some streaming services very soon. So this is important news for those of you who like to rewatch the shows and maybe just like occasionally go back. That's what I do. Like occasionally I'll watch an episode of Supergirl or watch an episode of The Flash or something like that. But Supergirl is apparently leaving Netflix in 2025 and 2026. So let's read this article. So more bad news for fans of Netflix's DC shows, which they have. Supergirl will leave Netflix in select regions beginning in 2025. We've learned some will see the show depart as soon as March 2025, so that's literally next month, although the United States will hang on to the series until late 2026. So if you're in the US, you're in luck because you're gonna have Supergirl for at least, you know, a year and a half maybe. So let's go through this article. Melissa Benoist first assumed the role of Kara Zor-El in 2015, which is literally 10 years ago now. How time flies, guys. But when the first season mysteriously aired on CBS, I don't know why they say mysteriously, but okay. After moving to the CW for season 2 and 126 episodes later, all 6 seasons have been streaming on Netflix in many regions around the world for a number of years since that final season aired in 2021. So that's when season 6 finished. Yeah, you can see it probably in most countries around the world on different streaming services, but Netflix is definitely the one in America. So Netflix carried the show in the US under a big overall output deal that Netflix had with the CW throughout the 2010s, and the show was licensed separately in other regions. So we've talked about that Netflix deal with the CW and why most of the shows that were on the CW when like Superman Lois was there weren't getting renewed by the CW, and that's because they didn't have that Netflix deal, which was super lucrative and they got a lot of money out of it, but those contracts are expiring, and that's why you're seeing shows like Supergirl eventually leaving Netflix. So Netflix will begin losing the show starting in early March. Latin American countries like Argentina, Brazil, Colombia and others will lose the show on March 10th, 2025, so in less than a month from now. For those in other regions such as Canada, Europe and Asia, the show will be leaving at the end of March on the 30th. So yeah, that's literally no time. So if you're in Europe or you're in Canada or anywhere in Asia, get watching, guys, if you want to rewatch. Obviously, they will eventually show Supergirl in your territories on different streaming services. Obviously, they need to create a deal. It's because it's Warner Brothers' content, and if the contracts are expired and they're not renewed on time, they will be leaving Netflix because Netflix just won't have the right to show them anymore. So they say this news should not come as a complete surprise if you've been following what's been happening in recent weeks. Supergirl is one of the number of DC TV shows that make up the Arrowverse that will be departing Netflix globally over the next year or so. So we've already reported on the fact that Black Lightning is now leaving Netflix in international regions, and Arrow will be departing Netflix in the US later this year, which is huge news because lots of people watch Arrow in America on Netflix. So the US is going to hang on to the show a little longer than most international territories, but their intel suggests that Netflix will keep hold of the show until December 15th, 2026. So according to what's on Netflix, Arrow will be removed December 18th, 2025. Black Lightning will be removed September 1st, 2026. Legends of Tomorrow will be removed September 2nd, 2027, so you got a while with that. And The Flash is going to be removed on November 28th, 2028. So you got a good 3 years-ish with The Flash. But for those of you looking to watch the shows in other territories around the world, shows like Supergirl are going to go a lot sooner. Now, obviously, it's probably all going to move over to HBO Max unless they make a deal with like Amazon Prime Video or something like that, which would probably be a good idea if they want to make some money off of it, considering it's a show that has ended and it's just very valuable for people wanting to watch the show and they can make some money out of it, I guess. But yeah, that pretty much does it for that part of the video. Let's talk about the final topic of today's video, which is DCU related, but it's not Supergirl related. So obviously you guys can continue watching if you're interested, but this is all about the director of the Clayface movie, because they are apparently eyeing horror directors. So according to a new DC Universe report, the Clayface movie for DC Studios may soon have a director. We know they're trying to fast track it. We know Mike Flanagan has wrote the screenplay and DC Studios are trying to get it off the ground right now. And I don't know why Mike is not directing it himself. Obviously he is a busy man, but it's set to start production in 2025 sometime later this year. But according to new reports from Deadline, apparently Truth or Dare director Jeff Wadlow and Speak No Evil director James Watkins are currently in the mix for the Clayface directing gig at DC Studios. I think that's a solid pick, like both of those two, decent directors, good horror directors. If Clayface is going to be the horror film that it's been suggested, you want someone with those sensibilities taking charge. And so according to Deadline, DC Studios will be hearing pitches from potential filmmakers next week, which may suggest there could be additional candidates apart from those I just mentioned. So it's really good to hear that Clayface is potentially going to start production in 2025. I would presume it's going to be kind of maybe full-time or just at the start of next winter, so maybe like December, but they clearly think they can go ahead with this project. They're very happy with what Mike has done with the screenplay, and I guess Mike is going to be super involved in choosing the director, and I think it's going to be a really solid project. And obviously I'm a big horror film fan, so I'm naturally excited for this. Also, they're going to be doing it on a lower budget, which is good because that gives them the opportunity to make a bunch of profit on the film when it comes out, hopefully, if they keep costs down. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also, watch any recent videos just to support the channel, even if you're not like super interested in certain topics. And always leave your suggestions about videos you want me to make in the comments down below. But for now, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. And you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.